Welcome back to another episode of the Steebee Weebee Show. Why you do this to me, Demi? Oh. We have a very special guest tonight for the first time on the podcast. Please welcome musician, Gifted Gab.
That was amazing.
Did you like that?
I do. I do.
I believe it or not, I improvised it.
I love it.
Did
it
it
gives
seem
me like
planned?
Wonder Shows and vibes, and I like that.
What did it remind you of?
Have you seen the show Wonder Chosen?
No.
Oh, it's a
Is
classic.
it on Adult Swim?
Yeah.
So describe, what is it, a cartoon?
It's like a kind of a variety type show. You've probably seen the clips have been like going around for forever, but it's like one of those kind of like in the vein of like an Eric Andre, like what am I watching right now? But I love shit like that. So that awkwardness is like in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm a fan of all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check it out later. Wonder
okay,
Chosen. It's a great show.
For sure. This is great. You're here because we, like I told you, I went down the roster. It's gonna be Blimes, it's gonna be you, and it's gonna be Gavlin all in a row.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. Gavlin's like one of my favorite artists, like period.
Oh, for real.
I fucking love Gavlin.
I noticed she fucks with you too.
Yeah, that's like sis. You know what I'm saying? But like I've been a fan of hers.
That's family.
Yeah, that's fam.
So let's get I'm glad you're here. Let's get your story. Like, where are you originally from and everything?
I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, the Central District.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yes. I'm
Shout
a
out to
Seattleite.
Seattle.
That's right.
They have a very strong music history up there themselves.
They really do. Music and just arts in general.
Like
We're very
the grunge
artsy.
and the indie rock scene.
Grunge, dance, Chihuly. You know what
What's
I'm saying?
Chihuly?
Glass blower.
Oh,
Painters, sculptures,
that's what's
like
up.
very,
Yeah.
very artsy. Seattle's a very artsy town.
What are some of the best things about Seattle? Like, don't they have a lot of great seafood as well? Or
Oh my God, yes. I love
don't they have
seafood.
like seafood markets and shit like
Yeah,
that?
Pike Place Market. They have, you get the fish and they'll throw it at you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The weather. Even though I'm a Seattleite, so I love the rain, but it doesn't rain as much as people say that it does.
It's
a very
great though. I like that though.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
like that,
But the
yeah.
summers,
Really?
best. Seattle has like the best summers hands down everywhere.
And I can't forget about coffee.
That's
They
true.
got the
I'm not even a coffee person,
Oh,
but if you
damn.
like coffee, then Seattle,
I love it. Yeah.
yeah, there's like 2 coffee shops to a corner, so
what's up.
it's not even just Starbucks.
Yeah, it's just like all kinds.
Yeah.
Oh, and the people are, for the most part, they're
They are,
pretty, liberal or.
They are. The people are definitely very liberal. It's interesting. Seattle's in like an interesting place right now. It's one of those places where it's like if you haven't been to Seattle before, it's really hard for me to try to explain what Seattle used to be because it's very much gentrified, and it's also, like Amazon came in and just like fucked it all to hell.
Damn.
So,
when did that happen?
Oh man. I mean, Amazon's been in Seattle for like a long
For
time,
a minute now?
but like just like the growth of it, like now it's like Amazon City. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be kind of hard pressed to find like a Seattleite in Seattle. It's almost like a LA in the sense that people are there like transitionally, so they're there for a job or something. So you don't really find too many like actual Seattleites, which is kind of sad. But when you meet them, and they're very welcoming.
And what's a dead giveaway if you meet one for real?
A Seattleite?
Yeah.
Probably
that's
the
first time I
vernacular.
heard that term.
A Seattleite?
Yeah, Seattleite. I like that.
We kind of have like
That's
our
like
own
an
little...
Angelino.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Dang, how would you... I feel like we're kind of like, I don't want to say standoffish, but we're like one of those, like, we don't really like you till we like you. Because it's like we're like so much trauma in Seattle from us just like, where did our city go? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's new here. You guys aren't from here. And furthermore, like, Seattle has changed so drastically, even in the past, like, 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That, like I said, it's hard to kind of explain the essence because like almost all of those places that made Seattle or those people and stuff aren't there anymore. They got, you know what I'm saying? There's, like you were saying, high rises and all this shit. But so we're kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're very nice, but like once we see that you're not like one of those Amazonians, you know what I'm saying?
You're good.
You're good.
So, because we're in a fucked up time right now, like, did you know, like, what changes have you noticed, like, just being in LA as well? Because I talked about this with Blimes about just like the homelessness and shit. Like there's tents on my block right now. I mean, it's kind of they're in the cut.
The homelessness is crazy.
Cities and stuff.
Yo, I thought Seattle was bad for homelessness, and it's pretty bad. But like when I moved here, I'm like, this is like third world country shit. Like,
oh yeah. For real.
Yeah, like I took a couple friends that came out here to visit to like Skid Row because I was like, you won't believe like how like this is actually America. Like this isn't a third world country. We, you know, drive through Skid Row. And
my therapist was on Winston.
Oh shit!
Like right there on Winston, so I know.
Oh yeah, you got all the craziness.
I've skated on there. I've smelled the smells.
Yeah.
I've seen people syringes.
Yeah.
People barbecuing. People cracked out.
It's pretty upsetting though. Like it's apparent, you know what I'm saying? Like before, and I've seen a couple like Skid Row like documentaries or like, you know, things surrounded by Skid Row.
I'm intrigued by it.
Very. And it's very apparent before even like knowing the information that like, oh, clearly they just like found a place in the city to put all the shit in one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to kind of contain it in one place. So it's like, and that's essentially what they did. They're like, let's put all this bullshit,
real talk.
Like all the public assistance, all like the mental health, everything
is there
all in one, you know what I'm saying, couple square mile radius. And it's like, that's pretty fucked
Even
up.
the shelters and the food banks and all that shit.
Everything.
It's like literally set up that way.
Yeah, so it's like if you need help, you have to.
Shit, huh?
It's pretty
like
pretty fucking insane.
It's like some zombie shit.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. Like aside from just literally being like, it's like third world country-ish. Like people are literally in like extreme poverty.
But this is something that's even that I peeped is
Now
they're like traveling.
They're moving outwards. As they should.
Like Venice. Like I watched this dude on YouTube. He's a German guy. I forgot his name, but he's got a great channel where he like documents all this shit. Dude, Venice is like people are just tents right on the sand.
Oh wow.
No. Like literally, and then not only that, even like they have their trash and all this lumber and all this crazy trash, and technically the police can't do anything because it's considered their property. Like you can't lawfully move their shit. There's like laws now.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But also, if I was gonna be homeless anywhere, I would definitely set my tent up on the beach. Like that's.
I know. I thought of that too.
I'm like, that's pretty wild. Like just publicly, real. But like, yeah, if I'm gonna be homeless, like, and I can live right on the sands of the beach. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'd get my Coleman tent. I'd fucking have all that shit.
Oh yeah, the homies living right next to me.
Oh
like,
yeah. Or you know
what'd
be even dope is like, I would like go down, walk down the beach. I would look for a cove or something, like a little, just like a little, you know what I mean? Like it's like in a nook.
Exactly.
Where like you could like do bonfires at night or something.
Living pretty lavishly.
Yeah. Like, have you seen Castaway, that movie?
Yes.
Yeah, like on that shit. Yeah, like some Tom Hanks Castaway shit. Yeah.
Hey, if those are my options, I'm not really mad at that.
Yeah. So are you, it really puts things into perspective as far as being grateful. Like, I have rent control here. You know, there's weird things going on with my building, like I mentioned outside. But are you grateful for just?
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. It makes you like literally whatever your situation isn't that fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be like this. Like you literally could just be living on the streets, and like just living on the streets isn't even like the worst part. It's just the things that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to constantly. It'd be one thing, you know what I'm saying, you're houseless, homeless or whatever, but like you have to constantly be watching your back. People could be stealing from you, trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a really rough fucking lifestyle. And it goes to show that like there's obviously some people that choose that, you know what I'm saying, that kind of just don't, kind of aloof in that way, like don't really need much. But like for the most part, no one wants to fucking live that way. So it's like you're living that way and you have to deal with just the things,
the elements of shit.
Yeah.
Street shit.
Exactly.
Like if you couldn't have a gun, let's say you couldn't get a hold of a gun for production, what's the next best thing?
Really? Exactly.
A machete.
Right, yeah. For
a
sure.
machete, for real. Do you know, I've been going down the rabbit holes of YouTube at like 4 a.m.
Same.
I just discovered there's a place where you could live for free. Have you heard of this place called Slab City?
Yes, I have.
So for those of you who don't know,
there's a documentary about it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. There's a bunch.
Yeah,
there's
okay,
a bunch.
I was about to say, I
so
think I might
Slab
have seen
City
one on
is
it.
like literally back in the day, like the military had they would do like missile tests and shit. But then they like throughout history they tore down the buildings, but they left the concrete slabs. But this is one of the places, one of the only places in America where it's like outlaw. It's like free.
Yeah.
So all you could just literally stake your little area and just start. Once you start building there, that's your shit.
That's fucking tight. I guess.
And then they have
nowhere.
their own like community and shit. Like there's one dude that has like an internet cafe thing that he's siphoning the energy and shit. And then there's one person that they make coffee for there's a little coffee shop.
Right.
They have there's performers. One dude, this hippie dude, built a stage and they have like an open mic night.
Oh, I love it.
Would you ever, if things went to hell here in LA, because I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
Like as far as living off grid and shit. Would you be open to doing something like that?
Maybe not that extreme, but I have not to that extreme, but
okay. It is extreme.
That is super.
It is super extreme.
But I would actually I've always kind of have like dreams of like living in an RV for a little bit of time. Like I would actually really enjoy that.
That's so crazy because that was the last thing I watched last night.
Yeah.
Or this morning at 5
like
in the morning.
RV living.
Yeah, there's people that just drop off out of society. They fucking just take all their savings and buy an RV, and they just go from like spot to spot and shit. Like they'll go to campsites near trees or it's crazy.
That's a cold lifestyle. I wouldn't mind. I don't think it'd be something that I would like constantly do, but like one of those, like a couple months out the year or something like I would definitely just live on the road. Like that would be so fucking fun to me.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I would do the same. But if we were homeless, let's say we didn't have our apartments or wherever our housing, what would you consider?
Would I go to Slab City?
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if it's like apocalyptic type shit, then yeah, for sure. A completely non-capitalistic society, like, can't be that bad.
Yeah, because it's like, in a way, it's like the most kind of free you could be in America.
Right.
There's no governing bodies. There's no legislation. There's no rules or law. I mean, you have to respect your neighbor.
Of course, yeah. Like basic, just human
basic
laws.
shit. You can't steal.
Right.
Or else you're going to be dealt with. You're going to be dealt with for real. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I've been thinking about shit like that lately,
Yeah, I bet. Those things are like kind of becoming more and more like realistic. Like it's still pretty like crazy, but it's like all the crazy shit that you could like possibly think of is kind of already happened. Like we're literally living in you've seen the movie Idiocracy?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you got to
I got to check that out. Yeah.
It's I think it's what's his name? The Owens brothers.
Yeah, Luke Owen.
Luke Owen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I saw the poster for that. What's it about?
It's like basically like a post-apocalyptic like society, but it's like so they make it like so over the top and ridiculous. But if you watch it now,
write that down.
It's literally not over the top. Like it's
it's happening now.
It's literally everything that's in that movie is like there's like they have this thing where like the only TV is literally just like people falling or like farting and shit like on loop, and it's like. That's literally MTV. Like, ridiculousness plays like 23 hours of a 24-hour time schedule. And it's like, they have this super, like, just ridiculous fucking president, Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like all the things that, like, they tried to make it over the top and ridiculous. And in 2021, it's like,
damn,
this is exactly what's happening. Like, it's actually kind of scary.
Yeah. It's crazy you brought that up because when Blimes was here, I brought up Back to the Future 2, where Biff steals the DeLorean, because I have a theory that someone or maybe time traveled, like went back, skewed the space-time continuum, like the timeline, and fucking did some ill shit.
Yeah.
And fucking now we're here.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I definitely can believe that, because yeah, we're just in a time where it's just like you've almost become just desensitized to like ridiculousness. Like literally, not to like use that word again, but like literally like anything crazy that happens, it's just like, it's pretty wild, but like, yeah, that could, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
because
literally anything can happen now. And I'm just
especially
like,
if time traveling is real, which I don't know, I have to do more research on that, but if the shit was real, fuck, you could cause a fucking great shift.
Great shift.
I mean, look what happened in the movie. It's like that sports almanac. You know, Biff went back and stole that. So he had this book where it was going to predict all of the outcomes of sporting events. And then he gambled. You know what I mean? He just shows up and you just you know.
Exactly.
He wins $1 billion, whatever, millions of dollars, then builds this casino.
And stuff like that could change the course of, the future. It's pretty crazy.
And look, Trump was president. I mean, he did it.
He did it.
He did it for real.
Like, that was, at one point, that was, like, the craziest thing that could happen. Like, even to this day, it's still, like, currently going on. I'm still just like, bro, Trump is really the president. Like, let's just, like,
it was like a movie.
Take away everything and just that sentence, Donald Trump was the president. Like, that's fucking crazy.
A movie. That's a fucking that's like a bad dream.
No, that is so crazy. It is just like, on top of just Trump being the president, like, he's just so over the top ridiculous and would just say just fucking whatever. It's just like, bro, we really, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, do we kind of get what we deserved? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know, but you know what? Because I did do some research. There's these, if you Google this, like time traveling, there's like these old black and white pictures. Like there's examples where
there's like future
saw,
shit.
Yeah,
like,
there's future
like they had like
shit.
a cell phone in
yeah,
like
they had like a
1940.
flat screen, like in the 30s or whatever, the 20s. This motherfucker had like a smartphone.
I believe it. He probably is some fucking reptilian ass.
Or something.
Yeah.
Oh, you know about the reptilian?
A little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I love conspiracy shit.
That shit's real.
Even if I don't give a fuck about it or believe in it at all.
You know, that shit's real. That shit is real.
Any type of conspiracy
for those of you who
lands on, there's like, even if it's the smallest minuscule, there's some truth in like every conspiracy.
Look up, folks, Credo Mutwa. This man is the most knowledgeable man. He's an old shaman from Africa. Okay. He knows they referred to the reptilians as the Shituhari, the Shituhari. There's crazy examples and stories. This guy knew all that. That's why a lot of that ancient knowledge is from Africa, man. It's from Africa. Yeah. It's all, the real shit. Right. When I was in college, rest in peace, my homie Kwak passed. That's when I was getting into, rap and making beats, and I met, the people that were like-minded. But my homie Kwak was a part. It was you could call it a religion, but it was more on like the real alien, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they brought me on campus. Him and his homie brought me on campus, sat me on a bench, and they had this thing. It was similar to like a Bible, but it was their version of. But it had it. I kid you not. I was looking at the diagram, the pictures, and it's the shit that I'm researching right now and discovering. Oh wow! But this was in the 90s, and so now I'm like thinking like, oh shit, the shit these guys, these guys are showing me back then was like the real shit. Yeah. Like they had pictures of like fucking reptilians, Andromeda, like all different alien races, and I'm like, I thought these cats were crazy. Right. I was scared. I'm like, oh, these fools are like, what the fuck is this?
Right, kind of cult shit.
But they had their own doctrines and you know what I'm saying. But now I'm like, and it took me in the 2020, 2021 for me to be like, okay, they were onto something.
That's because you.
So rest in peace, Kwak. That was a homie. But he knew some shit back then, for real.
That's because you seen just the progression of things. You're like, damn, this is seeming more like this is probably the least crazy thing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you just even look at history, like through like artifacts and like even the hospital sign, it has a snake and shit. Even on just on buildings, there's like even in China, the dragons and it's all throughout history. It's like in our fucking faces. Even in London and shit, like the buildings has like old reptilian gargoyles and shit, and it's like okay, well these are different regions,
really,
and they're talking about the same shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be some piece of truth to it.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's always starts on truth, but like, you know, stories and like fables and, you know, almost the telephone thing. You tell a story that you tell to somebody else and it adds more, but like it started on a truth. Like,
oh, for real,
it might have like went like way far out, but like it started in a truth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that shit is fucking crazy.
Do you remember, have you seen V the Final Battle? You remember that series? This was like in the, I think 80s, like late 80s, but dude, it was about reptilians where these cats come like from outer space as they look human and shit, and they come as like humans friend, like, hey, we're your friends, but really underneath it, they're lizard people. They're like reptilian. Yeah.
Okay, write that down. I'm gonna have to watch that.
So it's called V the Final Battle. There was a mini series fucking back in the 80s and shit.
I want to say that kind of sounds familiar, but I know I haven't seen it.
Yeah. God, we got off topic. I want to talk about more of your music. Sorry. Okay, let's get back on Gifted Gab. All right. So Seattle. When did you start getting into music?
Oh, man, I got into music young. I grew up in the church. My parents weren't like pastors or anything, but my mom was like, you know, really, really religious and spiritual. So we were at church all the fucking time. And so, you know, that meant singing in the choir, playing the drums if the drummer wasn't there that week, you know, playing piano. I started playing piano when I was about 7. So, yeah, music was kind of always there, whether I was doing it myself or my mom had like a really dope record collection, and she was really into like funk and soul. So there was always like Ohio players and James Brown and shit playing. So even though I don't come from like a musical family per se, like there was always just music around. Like even I might not be able to like vividly remember the memory of something, but I could tell if there was a song playing, I could tell you exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so music has always been that, and then I've always been like a writer, or just
like poetry,
anything with my hands. Honestly, like if I could create something, like that's what I'm gonna do. Like even as a child, like I would make my own toys. Like
oh,
shit
you
like
would?
that. Yes, I would cut shit up, make my own toy. Like just creating nothing. And turning it into something is just like is always just been my thing. So poetry a little bit, but more so just like, you know, just jotting shit down or like writing raps or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And it kind of just progressed into like actually rapping. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Who are some of like the first rap groups or solo rappers that kind of caught your ear?
Oh man, I've always been a fan of like witty rappers. So growing up, Ludacris is one of my favorites. I love Redman, you know, Eminem, like all those like spitters. Yeah. But like they're funny. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing.
So they had a bit of humor with their punchlines.
Exactly. And like the videos are always over the top and shit like that. Like I always loved it. I think that's probably what really like started my love for it. And then also like the kind of the rebelliousness of it. Cause you know, just being a kid, you're listening to songs, and I've always really been big on lyrics. Like as opposed to when my peers are always into the beat. I want to know what the fuck they're saying. So I would go home and like literally print out the lyrics, learn them so I could go to school and just
just recite the shit.
And recite the shit like I fucking know these bars. You know what I'm saying?
Who are some of like the female MCs that you looked up to? Like, do you remember the first time you heard a specific female MC and like, whoa, she's tight?
Oh man, I remember the what's the song? We like the cars
that go boom. We're Tisha and Bunny, and we like the dude. That beat was hard.
Yes, and I don't even remember how old I was the first time I heard it, but it never occurred to me that those were like girls sing.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Then I like seen the video and I'm like, oh, these are girls doing this?
To this day, you could play that and then it's going to turn heads. Like, what the fuck is that?
It's a fucking slap.
Because now I think about it, that was like, they're just repeating kind of like the chorus, but it like catches your attention.
Exactly. You know, kids, anything like repetitive, you know what I'm saying? That's the move. I mean, with anybody now, but like most of like, if you really want to, that's why, man, these motherfuckers like YouTube people and like the ones that make shit for like TikTok, it literally is just a very basic, very basic mathematics. Is just repetitiveness.
God,
Kids just want to know shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you just say over and over again, and furthermore, they're the ones that's playing it over and over and over again. Like we listen to a song or a video.
No, I dissect
We're
the
watching
shit.
it once, maybe twice. Kids are gonna sit there and fucking play that same video 100,000 times a day.
God, that's a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as like, okay, so God, what was it? Can you look that up? We Like the Boom. I forgot the name. Is it Tisha and Bunny or something like that?
Is it
Tigra and Bunny?
Tigra and Bunny.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
Like the Boom.
What about like I'm thinking more along the lines is like as far as like my progression as far as like peeping out the female MCs. I was like, okay, like I remember Latifah.
Yeah.
I remember
She's
like
definitely my top
MC
favorite.
Light and people like that, and then later. Down the timeline to like Lauryn Hill and like fucking people like that. Oh, yeah.
Queen Latifah is definitely a major favorite, especially because she's just like she could fucking do everything, and that shit is just so inspiring to me because
she could act too.
Exactly.
She could do everything.
She could act, she could sing, she could rap, like as well as like Missy Elliott and shit like that. Like
She's
always
tied
had
too, Missy Elliott, yeah.
a great affinity for women that could do more than one thing.
One thing, yeah.
And then it's like not. You know what I'm saying? Like you have rappers that are like or whoever, literally whatever your career or they know you as, you try something else.
Yeah.
It's always just been like asinine to me when people be like, well, don't you play basketball? Like, why would you? Like, bro, people can do, like, you can do more than one thing. Like,
yeah.
it's totally
I mean, look at Tupac.
Right.
I mean, Tupac just didn't rap. I mean, he was a prolific actor, you know? Like, he was in, like, some of the best movies.
Right. Like, it's not wild to be multifaceted at all. So it's, like, really, I really love seeing, you know what I'm saying, like, Queen Latifah, a dope fucking rapper, and then, like, Bringing Down the House is one of, like, my favorite movies. She was fucking hilarious in that movie.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying, she had the Dana Owens album. And I'm just like, bro, what can she not fucking do? Like,
oh, she was killing it. Like, in the 90s, I remember, yeah, she was...
and respected, too, on top of that. Like, you just know that, like, everybody respected her. Mm-hmm.
Even, like, the male spitters were like, oh, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, there was something majestic about her. Like, as far as, like, you gotta respect her. Mm-hmm. She's fucking doing her thing.
And you can see that, and that's the shit I like. Like,
yeah,
that's what
sure.
That's the type of aura that I want. You know.
Oh,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure, for sure. And you guys are getting up there.
When
did you start doing your own songs and recording?
Mm. Oh man, I want to say I probably like actually recorded my first song in like 2010, 2011.
Okay.
And then after that, I was just like, yeah.
Damn, you picked it up
keep
quick.
Doing that, yeah. Just because I'm so into words, like just semantics are just my thing. So like once it's in my head, it's there. So like I'm one of those people, I go to the studio and I'm like knocking it out. You know, I might 1 take Jake, 2 take Timmy, like because it's in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really need to.
Oh, that's like on some Jay-Z shit.
Kinda, not so much that like I'm a freestyler, but more so if I write something, it sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because of the repetition of it.
Exactly, and I'll just keep saying it, whether out loud or in my head. So by the time I get to the booth, I already know exactly how I want to deliver it. I spit it,
right.
and I'm out.
Have you, as far as your just your process, have you ever? Do you listen to the beat first, and the beat like says something to you, then you start writing, or can you write without any kind of beat? I've always wondered that about other
I can
musicians.
definitely rap without a beat, but it definitely just brings it all together when there's a beat there. And I honestly, I don't mind, like I obviously don't mind getting like beat packs sent to me or somebody playing me beats and I'll be like, oh, I like that. But my thing is like literally like the beat being constructed while I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
You like to be there during the whole process.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I personally don't know you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of know, I loosely know Pro Tools, but like, you know, like the beat making system and all that shit. Like I really.
You just need one of these. You can
literally I really just need an MPC. If somebody hooked
this
it
is
up,
like
put
a
the
mini
sounds
MPC.
in.
Yeah,
I would
these
crush
are
it.
samplers. You know, and yeah, that's literally. I could teach you this shit in like a day. I'd be like, okay, this is what you do. Boom, press this button. You got this on this button. You want to lace it with this upright bass, then you know what I mean? It's literally, and this is what another producer told me, like, I don't know, I was like fucking with this shit when I lived in Arizona, you know? There's a little movement there, like this little underground rap movement there in Phoenix and Tempe and everything at the time, and I was like, the prolific producers, I was always trying to like figure out like how you doing this?
Right.
Like, how you doing it?
Exactly.
And you know, it was on some Jedi. It still is on
Very.
some Jedi secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very much
I'm
is.
not like that.
Mhm.
I'm like, if I have the knowledge and you want to learn, I'll show you what my little techniques.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But back then,
Yeah,
they
no one
didn't
was
give
telling
me
you that.
nothing.
Mm-mm.
They actually, you know, let's say this is the right direction. They
Mhm.
sent me this way.
Oh no, see,
They're
that's
like,
not cool.
yeah, just, they're very vague.
Right,
And
right.
I was like, fuck. And this goes to show those like major lessons learned. I'm like, okay, well, I'm learning. I just gotta figure it out myself.
Pretty much.
So, literally, that was
Or
the
watch
first.
as much as you can. Just as if you compete, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Pick some stuff up
Back
and
then, there was
retain
no
the-
YouTube tutorials.
No, I'm saying like literally watching them do it and be like, oh, okay, so you press that button.
Oh,
okay.
right. No. But with these machines, that they wouldn't have these at gigs and shit. This is the
Yeah,
shit
true.
they'd have in their bedrooms, in their
Right,
closet,
right.
like
Yeah,
on
you're
some
not privy to.
secrecy shit.
Right.
So this is the thing. You'd have to just sit down. It's trial and error. You're
Right.
like, oh fuck, what does this button do?
Yeah.
Hours of that.
Yeah, I'm about to say. and
But
see,
like,
that's
if you
just
really want to
maddening.
learn how to like, I had homies who are more proficient with the NPCs.
Mhm.
I had an NPC 60 and I fucking got frustrated. I thought it was like a lemon and I should have held on to it.
Yeah.
But I just sold it back to Guitar Center right
Oh,
away.
man.
But then these like I'm good with the boss samplers. I know how to fucking do all this shit.
Nice.
But as far as like, I'm sorry for getting off topic.
you're good.
I get really excited talking about this shit. But you mentioned that when you do your thing, you want to be there while he's creating it.
Mm-hmm. So I can give, you know what I'm saying, my little 2 cents. Like I said, I don't know how to actually make the beat on my own, but I know exactly how I want it to sound. I know the sounds
Exactly.
I want to hear. I know all the things that I want. So if I could kind of help you
Collab.
co-produce it, that's more my style.
And then have you ever done this where you're writing your shit, you have all your whole song written down, but then you just scrap it and start
All the time.
because I just went through that. I just finished up a project and like this notebook, like there's like songs where I wrote the whole thing. Like I wrote the whole thing and like I just rewrote the whole. I didn't like it.
Oh wow.
I'm just like, oh, there's that part, and then I did like, this. I know this looks like a crazy person's journal.
Hey,
but
you have your own type of
yeah,
organization.
but
I get it.
but it's like I just scrapped a lot of the shit, and I'm like, I had a hard time because I'm like, I grow attached to it,
yeah.
and I'm like, no, fuck, what? This is the way I fucking did it. But then you're like, there comes a time where you have to let it go.
Yeah. I believe in that. I mean, in anything, even if I'm writing a beat and I'm getting stuck on it, like the repetitiveness of that beat will almost like put me into a trance where I'm like, okay, pause this. Either we move on to something else and I come back, or let's like smoke, watch something like, let me
To
just
get your mind
exactly.
like,
Let me like detach from this for a second and come back, and I'll always come back with a different
so to
perspective.
recalibrate.
Exactly. You have to.
The reset button is pushed. I think that's very vital. Like I'll do the same shit where, because I've sat here hours. Sometimes you can't force it.
You cannot.
Because I've tried. I've tried to sit here and be like, oh, I'm just gonna trudge through this shit.
And you can tell. You can hear it when it's forced.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll just be like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna.
But it's totally fine to say fuck this shit for now and move on to something else and come back. More times
I'll
than
play
not.
video game. I'll fucking
Exactly.
play Warzone for like 3 hours. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Come back to it
my
later.
heart's in the right place.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna come back to it.
That's why lunch breaks and like recess and shit exist. Like you have to like step away from the shit for a second. You know what I'm saying? And then come back.
That's interesting. Like as a kid.
You're not gonna sit there. You're not gonna make a kid sit there and stare at a book for 8 hours. You're gonna get nut after the first hour and a half mark. That kid is fucking burnt.
No.
You gotta give that
They
kid
need
some
a
food.
snack and they need sun.
You need to run around. You need to like
Yeah.
literally just shift your mind and do something completely the opposite. And then you come back and you're, like you said, recalibrated.
No, I feel you. I totally agree. Can I share with you another example of
Please.
like some of the stuff that I went through completing this project? So my last song, I had the perfect cut. This beat, the beat that I made, and I don't, I usually I jot down shit like, oh, where did I off the record, like where did I? But this beat, I'm like, I didn't do that. It was just and I just put things away, and then with this sampler, I was not. I should have been paying attention, but it's a little older, so it's kind of like janky in a way.
Yeah.
So I fucking was just gonna erase one sample off one button.
Oh shit.
And that's for the most part, it should be a simple process, right?
Right.
You just press this, erase, and press that button again to erase it, right?
Right. And you're good
So I don't know what I was doing. I was sitting there, and before I let the thing complete the process, I turned the sampler off.
Oh.
Because I thought sometimes my mind's like on 100 things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck,
Yeah,
I just
often.
turned it
I
off,
do
and I'm
that.
like, oh, I'm good. But then I'm like, the next time I turned on the sampler,
My shit was gone.
everything was erased.
Oh.
And this
Whew,
is something
painful.
I had. I was so excited when I found the particular samples and the loop and the way I was like, figuring out the sequence.
Took you some fucking time to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to share this story. I had to do some Buddhist shit. Detachment.
Yeah.
I went through all kinds of mind fucking demons. The demons were attacking me. And
Got
I'm
it.
like, this is what I've tried to replicate it. I'm like, because I don't know if because I'm a Virgo, I don't know what it is, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just fucking remake that shit.
Yeah.
I spent another 8 hours, like whatever,
Yeah.
7-8 hours
Time
trying to do
consuming.
that. I got 75% of it, but the main meat and potatoes, like the obscure samples
Gone.
that I found,
Yeah.
gone.
Damn, that's disheartening.
So you might be asking yourself, what'd you do next?
Right. What did you do next?
I had a fucking. I felt like punching a hole through the wall.
I bet.
Like, and I was literally praying. I was like, I don't know if there's a God. I was praying. I was like,
somebody help.
something out there. Like, if this, and then I went through this. I'm like, if this is meant to be, all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, it might not seem like shit to people out there. Like, it's not like a mansion or a Lamborghini or
Only an artist or creative will
but
understand that pain.
To me, it was a golden fucking nugget that it was like a diamond that I found.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you just dropped it in like in the gutter.
In the fucking river, man.
Yeah.
So I went through some Buddhist shit, and I'm like, okay, well, I had to accept acceptance.
Yeah.
So I had to accept it, and I sat here long and hard.
Those
And
grief stages.
Yeah, it was a grief stage, and I go, fuck. All right, I have to. I'm not gonna replicate. I'm not gonna remake that what I did.
Right.
I have to do something. And then I think I waited because I was so depressed.
Yeah.
And I was on 90. I was all close to completing the project. This was my last fucking song that I had to write.
Ugh.
This is my 10th song. I'm like, I'm just gonna do 10 songs. And just whatever. I made did all the production, did everything, made it to that point, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do something fresh.
Right.
Like this never fucking happened. So that's what I did. And then this is the lesson to be learned. It wasn't the thing that I lost, but it was something that was still tight that I found something else.
Right.
So that goes to show there's a lesson learned where, and this could go with anything. Once you completely close the door and accept it,
Yeah.
that's when the other doors will open and be like, well, what about that? What about that? What about that?
Exactly.
So I'm sorry.
Boy, it can be so hard to close that fucking door.
Oh, yeah.
You usually gotta want to like leave it open a little bit, but it's just like,
Yeah.
no, you got like, bro,
You
there's
wanna
nothing
kinda
that can be
peek in there,
done.
Peek in there and be like, oh God, I
Right.
really like that door.
Yeah.
I really was attached to that door.
I think-
and not only that, what was inside that room?
Right,
I'm like, I like
exactly.
that fucking the way the cabinet was in there. The
Exactly.
dresser was right
It's like,
there.
bro, you can make another room. Like you can.
But yeah,
just have
there's
to
other
let-
rooms here
Yeah.
that might
it's
open
like,
up.
I like that one, but that one's not available. And like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do?
Sorry for the drawn out story.
No,
I just thought I'd have to share that from like artist to artist as far as like the process and the grief involved sometimes. And
I've been there.
Go,
I think
having to
every
let
artist
go.
has lost something, whether it been like someone stole their laptop or, I'm saying like a hard drive crapped out or for me, I remember my last, I've had a couple major losses. Like one time my computer that had like, this was during like LimeWire days.
Oh yeah, I remember LimeWire.
And I for like a solid couple years, I was dedicated to like getting, cause like I'm such I like what I like person. Like, I just
too.
like the things I like. I'm not opposed to trying new things, but like, I'm immediately going to go to the thing.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Right.
I'm exactly the same fucking way.
So even down to music, where it's like
I like this type of ice cream.
Mm-hmm. That's my thing.
That's my shit. Don't tell
Right.
me these other flavors.
Right.
I like this.
I might try it, but like, I'm gonna go with
back
this
to
one
this.
because it's always a good time. You know what I'm saying? But oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I like what I like. So it's like even in the midst of me liking what I like, there's still things that have been like untapped. So it's like,
What do you mean by that?
like, you listen to an artist and you love this fucking album, but it's like it never kind of occurs to you that like, oh, he has a discography. Like he probably has another album that I haven't even fucking heard.
Right.
So for
That's
several
what you
years,
meant.
several years I went through like all these artists I love. Okay, I want to get every single piece of music that they've ever fucking made. So
you go to the back catalog.
And it took me like several years to build this like insane discography of like everybody you could fucking think of, from like literally from like Method Man to like Herbie Hancock. Like I was like I wanted everything.
You know, it's crazy you said Method Man because I just looked at your hand and I just realized you got a fucking Wu-Tang.
I do.
She's got a Wu-Tang
for the
symbol.
children.
That's dude. That's what's up. So that's some dedication there.
It is. I fucking love it.
I feel the same way. You know, I don't have my Wu-Tang tattoo, but I felt the same way when I felt, because I was telling Blimes the first time I heard Wu-Tang, my homie had the fucking tape single, Protect Your Neck, but on the flip side, it was the Method Man song. And that's, and then that really, Protect Your Neck really caught my attention because I'm like, who are these fucking dudes?
Right.
But then that flip side,
you're like, who is this dude?
Yeah, exactly. that B side, I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
And
exactly.
then was his first album to Cal? Yeah, to
Yes.
Cal. So and then when I bought that shit, and then I'm like, oh, this guy is on some other shit.
Yeah. He's
That
another. He just
dark
doesn't fucking. He doesn't fucking
samurai
miss.
Gray cloud shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's never written. It's very, very hard to find like an artist that has never really put out anything like lackluster. Like every verse Method Man has ever delivered has hit. Like it's just his stats are fucking insane. Like there's
Well,
there's
not only
usually some
that
artists
is-
that are like, it was no. Every single time he steps up to the mic, it's like he knows exactly what the fuck he's trying
no
to
one
do.
had like that style. That's why I love all of them, because everyone was their own samurai with their
Exactly.
own like sword style or something. And he didn't sound like anybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
His
Ghostface didn't
pauses
sound like
and shit.
anybody.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Inspector Deck,
Yeah.
he sounds different too. Capadonna,
Right.
He's completely different.
You're like,
too.
wait, who is that? But I know, you know what I'm saying?
Jizza, fucking all them.
Yeah.
Old Dirty Bastard. That's like a great example.
Yeah.
No one on earth even sounds like that.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a psych ward. Like, that's some crazy shit he was
Yeah.
doing.
Seriously.
Rest in peace.
Seriously. You got to love
Rest
him.
in peace, ODB.
You gotta
Rest in
fucking
peace.
love him.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. Fuck, I just noticed that. I'm like, oh, that's
No,
tight.
totally fine.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned Wu-Tang, and I forgot what you said. Oh, it's the music making process. Yeah.
No, I lost my discography.
The
My
discography of other artists.
Yeah, my computer just like never turned on again one day, and it just like
A PC or Mac?
it was a Mac. It was like one of the first like MacBook Pros, and I was just like,
How did you feel?
I was devastated.
I mean,
I was devastated. And then a few years later, I'd let my goddaughter play with my my iPod, and she was like a baby, and I remember she like drooled in it or something, and at that time that iPod had like all my raps in it.
oh, and the iPod.
Yes.
The MP3s of it.
No, like literally the first, like it was like when like the first, not like the first, but
It was
yeah,
the gray.
it
It was like the gray one.
But it was like when you could the touchscreen one.
Oh, the touchscreen one. Yeah.
And I had like all my raps in there, and then it just
Ooh.
never. Yeah, she like drooled in it, and then it never turned on again. And I remember, I don't think I've ever been that mad at a baby in my life. Like I was literally like told my homegirl just like, bro, I gotta go because like I can't do anything to this child.
Something bad could happen.
Like, bro, you don't even like I have like years, and this was in like 2000 and this was maybe in like 2014, 15. So like that was essentially almost like everything I had written as like a rap artist up until that point.
How many
it was
songs?
Not even songs, ideas, just
everything.
Like everything. Because I'm just such a note.
So there's
like
voice
I probably
memo
have at
shit?
least like 1,000 notes, like just
So
in my
voice memo notes.
everything.
Melodies.
Everything was fucking gone. Everything was gone. And that shit, that was like the first. You know, every artist has those things where they're just like goes through those points where like, bro, is this even worth it? Like, I don't think I could do this anymore.
That's when you go outside.
That was definitely. That was definitely one of those moments. If you quit
smoking, that's when you smoke again.
That was definitely one of those moments where I definitely question, like, bro, do I even want it? Like, because if
you question.
I questioned everything.
You question like, should I be doing this?
Because there was such like, again, like you were saying, like it was such a like the loss, like the magnitude of the loss was so great to me that meant nothing to everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone else. So you had that to like. Bro, I can't even explain to you like how fucked this is and like the depression this is sending me into.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, bro, if this is like, if I have to feel this again, I don't know if I could do this because this is like a death, right? Like I'm literally grieving.
No, I feel you, and it's kind of it tells you a lot about like people's psychology. Like motherfuckers are selfish.
Yeah.
If like they're not gonna relate unless. Like, let's say you've never been fucking homeless or evicted. No one's going to empathize with your shit and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, I'll move on.
Like, you can
honey.
imagine the feelings,
Go get a
but
job.
you can't.
You know what I mean? They don't know that feeling.
Right.
So that's how you felt.
Yeah. It was rough.
Then let's keep going. Like, how did you get through? Like, what happened?
Man, I think I kind of went back to analog for a minute because I'm just like, man, fuck typing in this shit. I'm going to just write my shits down. And then that didn't really stick as well because I'm such on the move person. Like, I kind of need to, like, quickly jot shit down as opposed to, like, let me pull out this note.
Oh, as far as idea, because you don't know. You could be in the shower and something might hit you.
Driving is kind of when I come up with most of my shit.
Oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Because maybe you're not.
Because I kind of zone out when I drive.
You're zoning out, and there's no pressure to come up with anything.
No pressure to come up with anything, and it could literally just be I think of one thing, and then I see something, and it ties it together, and I'm like, oh shit, that's great. Let me jot that down real quick. Sometimes it could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be a couple bars, like literally anything. Yeah. And I immediately have to, because I'll forget. That's why I would be a horrible freestylist because I'll say something crazy and someone be like, what'd you say? And I'll be like, yeah. Unless I write it down, it escapes me. Like, I literally have to write.
Do you write like traditional, like how I do?
Yeah, sometimes I will.
Like pen to notebook? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still do it.
But for the most part,
because some people, they're with the modern age and they're like on the voice.
I have not Post-it notes, but I have hella index cards literally scattered around my apartment with just things on it.
Me too.
It could even be
look at everywhere.
Exactly.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a jotter downer.
That's crazy. Have you always been like that?
Yeah, I have. My dad is very much like that too, but he has fucking horrible memory. Like he was one of those guys I remember my whole life that every single time we get in the car to go somewhere, he would go into the glove box, pull out his little notepad and basically like write down like whether it was where he was going, what he had to do. Don't know why. But
I'm the same way. Yeah.
I think that maybe he just knew. He was just like, bro, one day I'm going to get Alzheimer's and I just want to know what the fuck I did March 2nd, 1992.
Yeah,
you know
I feel that because it's like even me, I've literally had an intention and then I'll go into the bathroom and I'll be like, I forgot what.
Yep.
I forgot. What was I here for? I forgot. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Because my shit's more like, I don't know if this is going back to being a Virgo or, because Virgos are hella fucking everything has to be organized and in a certain sequence, like chronologically, I got to do this. I have that.
Yeah.
And I have to, it's this also, when I write it down, I want a sense of fucking, I can cross that shit out.
Yeah.
And that's like a brownie point to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I did that shit.
Yeah. Because there's nothing worse than just being like, oh, I have hella things to do today. And I won't do any of them. And I'm like, wow, I'm disappointed in myself. And then some, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll write down a list of things I need to do, and then I'll like actually do them because I can like physically, you know what I'm saying, see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then do you kind of incorporate that, transfer that into your like completing a project as well?
I guess so. I don't think I ever like related the two, but yeah. I think I'm very much organized chaos in the sense that
I like that.
It makes perfect logical sense to me.
Organized
but
chaos.
to everybody else is like, bro, this is a fucking mess. But I'm like, no, this is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
I fucking
for
love
me to
the way you
understand.
worded that.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Yeah.
Because
Like
it is
so-
chaotic everywhere.
Yeah, it's like essentially, you know what I'm saying? People have like a bookshelf of things. And yeah, in the grand scheme, that is definitely organization. And then you have me with a pile of books, and you're like, how would you be able to? No, I know exactly. Like, it might look like this is like just a pile of mess, but I know exactly where everything is, what, you know what I'm saying?
That's
and if
crazy.
you were to change it, it would completely throw off everything I'm trying to do.
That's
you know?
crazy. I love that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a fucking album right there.
Organized chaos. That is kind of hard, though. I'm
surprised Organized Confusion never put out an album called Organized Chaos.
Oh, Organized Noise you talking about?
No, Organized Confusion, the rap group from I think '90, Pharoah Monch, and yeah, Organized Confusion.
Low key.
Those dudes were ahead of their time too. I'm
Bruh.
still trying to figure out what the fuck that one of the, this one of the rappers, he has a verse where he's talking about like queen takes pawn, pawn takes rook, and like he's flipping like chess lyric, like I'm like what he's like breaking down like an example of on some street shit.
That shit is like
but,
next
but,
level.
but using chess terminology.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
that
like
album
next
is so
level shit.
tight. Yeah,
that's next level shit. That's
yeah,
like
next level shit.
Like Black Thought, where it's just like, bro,
He's
how
one-
do
he's
you
another
even,
one,
like,
too.
How you even like exist, bro? Like that just doesn't
that
even
dude's-
make fucking sense. How like
He's
good-
he's like a Jedi master.
yeah, like he's like kind of
he's one of the masters.
synonymous with rap.
Yeah.
Like you say rap, and it's like, bro, Black Thought, like he is rap.
It's already done.
Dang, see,
Time flew by.
time fucking flying.
Okay, this is the time. Let's push your music.
Got you.
How can folks check out your music videos? Support. What's the best way people could support you? Your music.
YouTube, cause it's monetized, baby.
Okay, so and then what's the name of the YouTube?
Oh man, we have Blimes and Gab Vivo. I have my personal Gifted Gab Vivo. Blimes has her personal Blimes Brixton Vivo.
You guys got millions of views on
We do. We do.
I mean, we peeped it out.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
have some stuff.
So definitely.
So YouTube for sure. And then our album Talk About, which we actually put out. It's almost a year now.
Where can people cop that?
Everywhere you can find music.
Where could they stream it on Spotify?
Spotify, fucking Tidal, Google Play, anywhere that you can stream things is on. And the best part is if you know what I'm saying, if you look for Blimes and Gab, all of our individual discographies will come up as well.
Oh, separately?
Yeah. So I have 6 or 7 albums of my own solo work. And then
Great.
Blimes has her own solo work. So, like I said, when you go to Talk About It or Blimes and Gab, it'll show up, you know what I'm saying,
So
our
with you,
individuals.
since you're the one here, it's Gifted
Gifted Gab.
Gab.
Gifted Gab. So you can pretty
Gifted
much,
space Gab.
yes.
And then Blimes is just Blimes.
Blimes
right?
or Blimes Brixton.
What about a website or what's your social media outlets?
Gifted_Gab on Instagram. It's same as Twitter. Gifted Gab on Facebook. Literally, if you just type in Gifted Gab, GIFTED space GAB, I'll come up.
Okay.
I'm not that hard to find.
What about, is there any types of physical merch people could purchase?
Oh, yeah. You can go to giftedgabmusic.com. Blimesandgabs.com is actually, we're getting it updated right now, and we're actually about to get new merch out.
Okay, when's that drop? Let's start plugging
We don't
that.
have a date, but we're working on vinyls right now as we speak.
Wax.
As well as some t-shirts and some more shit. Yeah.
Did I miss anything? I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure we got everything.
We got social medias where they can find our music. I mean, that's really it. I'm in the conceptualization stage of my album right now.
Fantastic.
So
yeah.
nothing to promote as far as solo goes, but
You're
like
always
hella-
welcome here. Once it's done, we could promote it on here as well. And
I will be that.
And I extended that to Blimes as well. Like, and all my guests, I'd be like, you're always welcome. Because I know how it feels. I'm in the predicament where I'm about to drop something this week, and I'm like, we're trying to figure out. Oh, I gotta hop on.
Right.
I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out. Because we're in the day and age where it's not just the music completion. It's like, well, how are you gonna? I gotta promote it, or like. Where
but
am I
will
go?
say, I do like the shift of where before it was you do all this fucking this crazy promo, and then the album drops. Now you just put out the fucking album, and then you do the promo afterwards, which is like. I like that. Why haven't we been doing that?
You know what? Like, even that's the way Eminem dropped Kamikaze. Like, it was
just dropped it.
He
He's
just
like, okay, now we're gonna.
One day. He just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna drop this shit."
It's actually pretty crazy that for the longest time the norm was the opposite way, and it's kind of like that's kind of dumb. How the fuck are you gonna get hella? But I mean, I guess there was a different just type of. You know, you didn't have social media and shit like that, so it's like you want to hear about. You know what I'm saying? Like Biggie coming to, you know what I'm saying, somewhere and like talking about the album or something. And then you're like, ooh, I'm anticipating this. But it's like, we don't even fucking know what this sounds like. So we're getting excited for something we don't even know. So why haven't they always just drop the album?
I might just drop it tonight then. Fuck it.
Just drop it and then people hear it and then they'll be more inclined to be like, we got to talk to this guy because we have something physically.
He leaves, I might just make it active.
Fuck it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers, because we're in the day and age, motherfuckers don't have patience.
None.
You know what I mean? They're like, where is it?
That's what I'm saying. You
promote. I get DMs from fans, and they're like, I've been waiting patiently,
right?
buddy.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of
really you know what I mean?
It's kind of a tease.
Waiting patiently.
It's kind of a tease, and they'll kind of get like upset with you if it's like, yo, this album's coming out. They're just like, well, bro, just drop it. Like, we don't care.
If you take too long, they'll be like, well, fuck you.
Right.
I went on to check this other Korean guy.
Right. Like, you mean to tell me I gotta wait a fucking week?
Busan. He's a rapper from Busan, Korea. I'm going to support him.
Right. Because his shit's already out.
Yeah.
And you're fucking playing with my balls right now.
Yeah, you're right. People don't want... People... Now. I want it now.
Exactly.
Now. Like, you even said these kids, I want to see it again. I want to watch it again.
Now.
I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again.
Yep.
Man, it was an honor having you.
Thank you, man.
Like I said, you're always welcome.
Thank
like
you.
I said, we got a bunch of bangers. We got heavy hitters. We got Blimes. We got you. And then your homegirl, Gavlin, that's like boom, boom, boom. My homie,
she's
Gina,
hilarious. You're going to fucking love her.
Yeah, I actually did a show with her back in the day. That was the last show I did for Leilani's Fantastic Damage album release party.
Nice.
We had different set times, but I was taking her shit. Yeah.
She's fucking dope.
She's dope. And y'all are tight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are like in the same kind of...
Yeah.
Group, like as far as family, like extended family.
Blimes and Gavlin are like best friends, and I actually didn't even meet Gavlin through Blimes. I just met her just off the internet. I was a big fan of her DJ Hoppa. And we ended up linking up, and he gave me a beat, and then we both got on the song together, and that's kind of how we met.
That's cool. That's cool. So we got everything. We got everything right. We made an hour, huh? Perfect. Everything look okay? Okay. That was easy, right?
Yeah, it was very easy.
It was easy.
Very painless.
So there's a few announcements that I'll keep it short. We do have a Patreon attached to this show. If you want to support and help this stay alive, go to patreon.com/Steebee Weebee. Our newest patrons are Carlito Lily, Carmen, and my man Dennis Doucette. Welcome. So my album is finished. I might drop it tonight. I might just fucking make it,
bro.
So by this time, it's out.
Nice.
It's out. It's gonna be already out
because I'm releasing your album.
Thank you. It's already been because I'm ahead 2 weeks, so it's definitely gonna be out by the time this airs. What was I gonna say? Instagram/QUANGOU. I do have a website, SteebeeWeebieShow.com. If you want to get any kind of merch, just know the orders might be a little bit delayed because of COVID. All my music's at SteebeeWeebieBandcamp.com. Like I said, I Feel Still Crazy is out right now. I do have a P.O. Box if you want to send anything to the P.O. Box, mail or packages. Send all your stuff to 1425 North Cherokee Avenue, P.O. Box 1391, L.A., California, 90093. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me, man.
And Lil Ray might be coming soon.
Come on.
My buddy Skip is a trip, feeling blue like a crib. Straight for robbing a bank, letting loose from the hip. He really couldn't predict this grip was so full of angst. Him
today, don't give it away. They're preaching the praise, the raise. Shining it down to Matthias crowns, the finest of frowns delayed. Skibby's afraid, he feels betrayed. Live this way, can deal with shade. A spade is a spade, he made the grade. Displayed in a charade of pain. I am not a man, I am an animal of male. I live by maritime, the law of water, about to sail. Where my mother had me, I slipped out of her canal. What you call a sailing ship is named after a female.